Good afternoon. My name is Steve Edmonds. I live at 1022 Vanessa Drive, Oviedo, Florida. I can clear up that Oviedo has indeed passed an ordinance that treats it like pharmacies.
Okay. Thank you.
Just for your information there. But in terms of this argument about power and, oh, the state tied our hands and, oh, my goodness, we can't do anything, to be quite frank and quite honest, you guys had plenty of opportunity before State 8A came around to do something with medical cannabis. In fact, all communities did for a long time, and nobody wanted to do anything. And they didn't want to have any say about it until the state made their say. And this went back and forth for several years, okay? And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that we got together and decided that we were going to circumvent the governmental football. And we would do it through the Constitution. And as a conservative, I hate doing anything through the Constitution because, you know, frankly, it's not the way it's supposed to be done. But my elected officials weren't doing it the way that it was supposed to be done. So we didn't have a choice. And we put this constitutional amendment out there, and 71% of the people voted for it. That's the average across the state. Here in Orange County, it's 78%, I believe. The fact of the matter is that you live in a republic. We have different mechanisms for deciding how we determine our policy and how we determine our law. And the constitutional amendment speaks loud and clear. There will be no restriction to access. The representative is right. Any elected official that is caught up in the fray of going against the voters' will, regardless of your intent or reason or your logic about, oh, well, you know, it's a split in government, it's federalism, the reality is the voter will vote you out, and I will help them. So please consider that and make sure that you represent the voters and the will of the state of Florida. And when you vote on this on November 14th, please allow access to what the voters asked for. Thank you very much.
Robert Roundtree.
I'm going to try to resist responding to that. Just respond? Just get it out of my system? So, sir, just a couple of points. Just a couple of points. So, for starters, and this isn't a debate. You've spoken your piece. I'll speak mine. That's how this works at this point. This is not intended as a debate, but just for clarification, in terms of this board had all these opportunities. This board did not have all these opportunities. This board is responding to a decision of the electorate. That's what we're responding to. Whether we personally agree or disagree, we're looking at the decision of the electorate. That does matter to us. And that's what's prompted us to be here. Having said that, there are restrictions in this bill that are perplexing. To anybody, I think that's right thinking. You know, our representative just talked about it a minute ago. It really looks like they're trying to force us to vote against it.
Well, sure they are. So don't fall in the trap.
Let's do this. Help yourself with your case by not arguing with me and not debating me. That just generally doesn't work really well, and I'll do the same. You'll stop talking because it's my turn now. I'm going to have the floor. So that's where we are. And we don't like the fact the legislature's done what they've done because, at least for myself, I can tell you that whether I like something or not, I have enormous respect for the voters. I do find it troubling that the legislature put in place what they put in place, and I think that's what we're wrestling with here today. And whether you agree that we're coming here with honest intent or whatever, it is what it is. With regard to your strong support for the Constitution, I was just trying to check because I think that there may be the next time around a legislative petition approach that could be taken, and we'll need to just follow up on that. But I think that there is another way other than doing it in the Constitution, although I don't think anything would have been as effective as doing it in putting it in the Constitution. So have enormous respect for the fact that 71% of the electorate voted for this. I think that's overwhelming. I'm term limited, so for anybody else, if anybody else wants to stand up and threaten me about voting me out of office, just for the record, that's kind of taken care of. And believe it or not, most of us come up here, I know it's hard to believe, but most of us really want to do the right thing by the citizens. So I wish we could convince you that we're not going to do it here today, but that matters more to me. What you think and why you feel it and how important this is matters a lot more than whether you're going to threaten me or vote against me.
It wasn't a threat, just to clarify.
It's a promise.
No, pretty much.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I understand.